one of the first things you're going to want to do when you get onto Teams is create a team itself. So you can do that using the button at the top corner here whilst you're looking at all of your different teams that you've got. So we'll click Join or Create Team. Here we just want to click Create Team, obviously, and then it's going to give us some different types of team that we can create. To begin with, we're just going to create one for staff. Okay, so we're not dealing with students at this point. If we want to make mistakes and things like that, it's far better to do that with one that's aimed at staff than it is at students. So we're going to give it a name, so I'm just going to call this Test Team. I'd really recommend creating a test dummy team that you can just play around with and mess about with, because if it goes wrong here, it really doesn't matter. Description is useful if you want to try to tell someone about the team they're joining, and then the privacy settings, normally we're going to leave that as private. If you change it to public, it means that anybody in your organization can find and try and join that team, which can be useful, but most of the time, particularly to begin with, we're just going to leave it as private. In a moment, it's going to ask me, who do I want in my team? Now, don't worry at this point if you're not sure, or if you're just setting up a dummy team, you can just have you in that team. If you know people that you want to join this team though, we can then add them at this point. Now, we've set up a set of dummy accounts that we can just use to test things out and see how things kind of work. So I know that if I can add this person in here, that's not a real person, it's just set up to test things. So there's no harm in adding those. And I'd really advise if you can talk to your IT guys and get them to set those up, they're really, really useful. The only thing it's going to ask you here is member or owner. As the creator, you are the owner of that team, and that gives you certain privileges that just normal members don't have. If you want to give someone else those same privileges, so co-owner team essentially, set someone as owner, but most of the time people are going to be members of that team. Once you've done that, it's ready to go. If you do want to add more people to a team, all of those options can be found just over the left-hand side in this little dot 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 next to the team name. And there you can add members to the team, and that will take you to exactly the same place that we just saw. It's probably worth at this point just giving a really brief overview of the kind of layout of teams. At the far left-hand side, you've got quick access to things that you're commonly going to use. So being able to see all of your teams, the chat, any assignments you might have set students, things like that. The next panel in is where you see details of the team you're currently viewing. The main thing of note here, which we'll look at in a later video, are the different channels that you might have in that team. Then the majority of the page is taken up by this panel on sort of not the right hand side, but the most of the screen, I suppose, isn't it? This is where the communication is going to happen. Note as well that you've got along the top tabs along here for different parts of that team as well. To begin with, the majority of what you're going to be doing is going to be in posts, possibly in files. So don't worry particularly about anything else that might appear up there.